first thing we're going to do is bring these together. Just simple enough. Put your salt, your sugar, your baking powder, and your baking soda together with the flour. Now, you could just whisk this together, just as long as you're incorporating it really well. Or so just get your whisk that around. Or even better, you can sift that if you have a sifter. And if you have a sifter, the best way to do that is to get one of these flat plastic cutting boards. They're not good for cutting, really, but they're pretty good for pouring and portioning flour. And then just make sure that you use that. So that allows you a free hand to use to pour your flour into your sifter. So you can sift that onto the bowl rather than get it everywhere. So once that's sifted together, you have your instant pancake mix. Just like the stuff that comes out of a box, but a lot cheaper, better, and easier. And this will keep up to about 6 months. Really the only thing that will lose a little bit of its efficacy there, its power there, is that baking soda. Beyond that, but you'll probably use this amount before then. So instant pancakes. All right, and now we have our mise en place set up. Now we have our mise en place set up for making the pancake batter. So we've got about 2 cups there of our pancake mix that we made. Since that's about 2 cups, if you're going to actually be saving some of that pancake mix, then a good idea is, rather than using the 3 cups recipe or double the 3 cups recipe that I mentioned before, so then you have 3 portions. So there's 2 cups of that. There's 2 cups of buttermilk. In this case, I'm actually just using regular milk, which I've added a little cheese whey to, but you can use 2 cups of buttermilk, 2 eggs, which will separate. That's some homemade ricotta, that's where that whey comes from, and a stick of butter, of which we'll use 4 tablespoons melted. So now what we're going to do, I've got the butter melted there, 4 tablespoons. We're going to separate the eggs, and we're going to take the egg whites and combine those with the milk. And we're going to take the egg yolks and we're going to combine that with the melted butter. So first, let's look at how you crack and separate an egg. So you've got your egg. Now, you do not want to be cracking it on an edge like this or on the edge of a table. You want to be cracking an egg on a flat surface. So just give your egg a few taps. And then we want to separate it, so you're going to open it carefully, and either through your hands or by passing the egg yolk from shell to shell, you're going to separate the whites from the yolks, like that. So you have your egg whites and you have your egg yolks. Okay, so now we've got a bowl we can work in. We've got the egg whites included into the buttermilk. We have the egg yolks included, whisked into the butter. Now we're just going to add the liquids into your dry mix. And we're just going to incorporate that. Now, you do not want to be over beating pancake batter. You want this to be lumpy in the ends, and you don't want it to be overworked and gluteny, because then you get rubbery, tough pancakes. So I'm just going to do that a little bit to get that incorporated, and then I'm going to add some of the ricotta cheese. That's about, I'd say that's 1/4 cup. Add that in to your mixture, and then combine. So you want to see lumps, so do not overwork this. Break up that cheese, make sure that's integrated in there. So now that we've got the batter, we're going to make that into pancakes. So you're going to need either a non-stick pan or a pan with a good patina that's not going to stick. You could have also a griddle. If you have a griddle, you're going to set that at about 350. A pan, you might do at a medium-high heat. I got over here at 4. You'll also be making quite a few pancakes, so it's good to set your oven to a temperature which you can hold those. So that's about 200. Now, you can use butter. In this case, I'm just going to use a bit of oil. And we're going to start, once we get hot enough there, we're going to start ladling in our pancake mix. Alright, we got a good temperature, so we're going to either, I'm going to put a little bit of oil there. You could alternatively have a stick of butter and just rub that butter on the pan. Just take a ladle or some other type of device where you can measure out a portion, and in this case I'm taking about half of this ladle and putting that onto the pan. You can see this is a watery mixture, so this will spread. If you have a bigger pan than what I have here, you can do definitely a few of those at a time. Just make sure that you're paying attention to those and that they're not burning because you've got too many going. And you definitely don't want to crowd the pan, so there's no sense in doing, let's say, 2 of these on this pan. So you can see now we're starting to get a lot of bubbles break out on top, and you can kind of see around the edges that is cooked. It's still a little bit pale. Could be a little bit more brown before we flip it over. And just, you can take a peek underside and see. So that's looking good. Let's just slide under that and flip that over. And the other side will not take as long. Just give it a good, let's say 30 seconds, and then you can check that for doneness, lift that up, and put that back on your in your oven at 200. All right, so now you've got your pancakes. That's mix, say made about 20. I've plated that up with a little bit of powdered sugar, a little bit of, in this case we got some homemade raspberry jam, but you don't need to be told how to serve pancakes. These are a little bit less fluffy than yours probably are if you use buttermilk. I didn't use buttermilk, so they're a little bit more flat, but there you go. Some homemade pancakes made from scratch, no packaged pancake mix necessary. Enjoy!